What's up, everybody? Welcome back to 2nd Street. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing Jane Foster Valkyrie, issue number 1. This is a new series being published by Marvel Comics in the wake of the War of the Realms event, and that's coming right up. Thank you all so much for tuning into the 2nd Street Marvel today. Now, if this is your first time here, I talk a lot about comics, movies, and even music on occasion, and I do the occasional giveaway. Now, as I said, today I am going to be reviewing Jane Foster Valkyrie, issue number 1. Now, this book is actually written by Jason Aaron, Al Ewing. The artist is Cafu. The color artist is Jesus Aburtov. I'm sure I'm butchering your name. I'm sorry about that. And the letterer is VC's Joe Sabino. Now, as I said, this book is actually a spin-off. It's a new series coming out of the recent Marvel event, The War of the Realms, in which Jane Foster was there, and she had actually been given became the All-Mother of Asgard during the War of the Realms event, and then here shortly after, at the end of the event, she ends up becoming Jane Foster Valkyrie, taking up the mantle as Brunhild was actually killed during the events of the War of the Realms. So she's stepping up to the mantle. There are some enemies in here that she is fighting at the very beginning. These guys are basically just wearing armor and rollerblades. She goes to stop them from hijacking some weapons and everything that are being hauled away by damage control for after the War of the Realms. And one thing in particular was Dragon Fang, the sword of Brunhild, and it got taken away by one of these guys on rollerblades, and she lets him go after she's already stopped some other people. One of the guys, throws a car at her that's got some people in it. She goes and she saves the people, and all of a sudden, the little guy on some rocket-powered rollerblades, he's just gone. She lost him. Instead of worrying about this sword, when she knows that this sword is strong, she just decides to, save these people, which is all good, save the people, but then, lets the guy go. It just some of these things, it just seemed not even sloppy storytelling. It just kind of seemed a little nonsensical to me. It's a pretty good issue number 1. It introduces us to Jane Foster, kind of sets up the story of exactly what happened, and as she's learning her powers and just things like that, just unfolding what we're getting ready to see in this series as we see her coming into her powers and just some of the obstacles that she is going to be facing. Now, some of the writing in here was a little bit odd to me. Just certain things just happen to be, just situational things just like happen out of luck. There is actually a bad guy in this story that, just by chance happens to come into the hospital where she's working at, where she has actually just conveniently been placed in the morgue. So I don't know, just seemed a little odd, and there are plenty of other silly things that I can go on to talk to you about as well. Some of those things include like the one thing, and you've probably heard a lot of people criticize things like recently the MCU announced that that Jane Foster is actually going to become Thor in the next Thor movie with Natalie Portman returning, and obviously we can see that this is getting ready to come out. It so conveniently comes out around the time they make these announcements, and they're getting ready to move into the next phase. And don't think that that's by coincidence. It's not by coincidence. Now the thing is a lot of people didn't like the the Mighty Thor, where Jane Foster became Thor. Thor was unworthy, and things like that, and that series ended, and now we've got Jane Foster coming back in to be Valkyrie, and to me, it seems a little bit silly that Jane Foster is the one to become the new Valkyrie, and the reason I think that's silly is because she is just a human being, and in the War of the Realms, she got charged by Freya to be the All-Mother of Asgard, when they have like literally a whole army of Valkyrie there to take over, who have been fighting for Asgard, who are tough Asgardian warriors, where Jane, she's just a human. She's a doctor. She's, just a human. And not to say that humans aren't strong or anything, but we're talking about going, Asgardians here, throughout the comic lore and Marvel and everything, we can see that Asgardians are definitely a lot stronger than human beings are. So it just makes me, wonder through like, the War of the Realms, and then even into this, why Jane Foster when they had literally a whole army of people? And in the War of the Realms, they could have easily, she could have easily given Brunhild the mantle of the All-Mother of Asgard. She could have still been alive. You send her off to do some of the missions that Jane Foster was doing and things like that. it doesn't seem like a plausible scenario. I mean, in this, not real life scenario of this comic book. Overall, I've got to say, this wasn't a terrible book at all. Pretty well written. I think a lot of people know Jason Aaron and Al Ewing. There's some pretty decent writers. Nothing really bad here. Just I'm not really into this book, but as you can see, I run a movie or channel where I'm talking a lot about comics and things like that. So I still have to get these things, even though I may not be into it, so I can bring these reviews to you guys. Maybe it's just me, but let me know. What do you guys think? Have you guys read Jane Foster Valkyrie? If so, what did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't been here before, as I said, please make sure you're subscribed. Click the little bell so you get notifications anytime that I have uploaded new content. That also sends you out notifications anytime I plan on doing a live video. I have been doing a live video, trying to do about an hour stream talking about movies and things like that every single morning throughout the week. And then on Friday nights, I always do the Trailer Park Live prime time, in which I talk a lot about the same things that I will be talking about during the week on the show. Not the exact same topics, but a lot of those same things. It's a little more R-rated, where the stuff during the week is definitely more PG. I also do a comic book pull list every single Wednesday, and on Monday I always do the Trailer Park News, in which I kind of talk about some of the just happenings going on in movies, comic books, and things like that, as I present to you some of the comic book issues that are getting ready to come out for the week. Thank you all so much. You all have a very good day, and we will see you in the next video. Later.